Hey guys, y'all come on in and we'll get this kicked off. Um, I think definitely it's some information worth talking about so that y'all can you know, be on the lookout. I'm gonna play something really quick. Uh, and just it's actually a pretty amazing piece of video footage, to be honest with you. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Iron Dome before. It's like this defense technology that Israel has implemented um, for a decade at least, and it's ran well. I'm not going to go into like explicit details because I can't. But even if I could, I wouldn't want to put out specific details only because I would not want an enemy to get it, to try to bypass. They keep trying to find a chink in the armor of this Iron Dome. So y'all just check this out, and then we'll get to talking about this more in depth. Just put it like this: uh, Gaza, Hamas, terrorist group Hamas, from Gaza, has been launching missiles, rockets into Israel, Ashkelon, Tel Aviv, just trying to target all sorts of different cities. My understanding as of earlier today, there's been like 50 plus Palestinians that have died, and like 7 to 10 Israelis that have died from the recent attacks that are escalating. Um, and I always try to, keep in mind the fact that there was a promise made. God made a promise a long time ago in the beginning of the world, to Abraham. And I know that beeping is annoying, right? At least I don't have a smoke detector that just needs a simple double A put in it. Imagine walking around for a whole year. Beep, beep. That should be so annoying, right? And it's meant to be annoying. When you hear it, change the battery. Anyway, y'all, I want y'all to see this. This is an amazing piece of footage. Okay, y'all just check this out. Imagine, living in Israel, having to put up with this kind of crap with rockets and missiles flying over your house. So the point of the Iron Dome is defense only. It's not a system that's meant for attack or offense. It's for defense only. And so essentially what happens is, and this is all public information what I'm about to speak. So basically what happens is, Hamas, there's been a lot of terrorist organizations that have, been fighting up against Israel for since millennia. And they came up with this defense mechanism with the Iron Dome. Now, this is a live video right here. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but that is the Wailing Wall. Many people pray at this wall. This is part of the original temple that stood, that was destroyed back in 70 AD after Jesus Christ was crucified. I actually recall when I was going through like my brain surgery back in 2007, the drama of all of that and the fear of going under, knowing there's a big possibility that you might not wake back up. Um, I actually had some prayers placed at the Wailing Wall. It's called the Wailing Wall because people wail at it. They wail at it and beg, and they're they pray, they say prayers, they beg God for whatever. There's nothing wrong with saying beg God, right? But it is, yeah, it is called the Wailing Wall. Now, I want y'all to just take a look at what's happening around you right now, with all of the different politics, and look at the number of dislikes on this video. This is an unlisted video. Only reason I even know about it is because I'm subscribed to the Sun, right? But yeah, it. Hey, what's up, Sugar Cane? What's up, Heaven Sent? Natalie, hey. He is okay. I actually just talked to him yesterday. He's doing great. He's doing great. Um, but I've noticed a lot of crazy, weird stuff going on from a technical perspective. And I think, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but Russia is on another tear. Like, man, when I tell y'all that there is some quite intelligent cyber hackers and cybersecurity folks that hail out of Russia. And here, let's keep it a buck. Y'all remember the antivirus software? And I just want to say this real quick before we get back on this because it does tie in. But I don't know if y'all hold on a sec. By the way, you'll usually only see men in this area. I don't think women ever really. Anyway, remember there was the Kaspersky antivirus that was created out of Russia. And many years ago, it was free, right? I don't know what it is now because I wouldn't dare install this shit. But back in the day, I know back in the day, 15, plus years ago, man, I used to build a lot of computers. One of my friends used to get on my damn nerves. He used to hit me up all the time. Build me this. Like, goddamn, how many times do I got to reinstall Windows on your shit? But anyway, um, you have to understand, from a like engineering perspective, the very fact that you would install an antivirus on your system that is pretty much, it installs, this client server type technology where it can act like a beacon almost, and it calls home. And not only is it calling home, every day, multiple times a day to get information on virus threats, it's also calling home and telling people what I was installed on that machine. So this is what's really messed up. The United States government, for some reason, decided that they would install Russian-made antivirus on many DoD computers. And that essentially made their computers vulnerable at that point. You have to have administrative access to even install anything on the machine, on any computer machine. You've got to do it with an administrator account. And the fact that they could not only get the software, offer a free antivirus, get people to install it. They had a run of the mill, man. You guys have been seeing all these ransomware attacks happening. In my world, that's real shit. That's some real shit. Um, personally, I've handled ransomware attacks. Personally, I've seen ransomware attacks so bad. 100 server farmed environment, exchange servers. There was like 100 plus servers in this environment. 70, 80 of them had to be shut down and taken off the network due to ransomware. So, I'm just saying, I'm noticing an uptick of things. A notable amount of dislikes on certain political videos, and even, now check this out. Y'all know I follow stuff about Mars, the planet Mars, all that type of stuff. I've even been seeing, they call it disinformation. Russia has this tactic called disinformation. It's a great tactic. You should definitely read up on it. If you have a public, facing life, then you definitely should utilize some of those tactics. But they essentially will put out information that they know is not right or not true in an effort to either guide people away from what's really popping, or to almost kind of like smear or just take people's attention off the real shit, right? And one of the disinformation things I'm seeing, and I know this sounds crazy to some of y'all, but I've noticed it. There's been an uptick in people dropping videos saying that Perseverance, or was it Curiosity, one of the rovers on Mars, sent back a pic where you can see 4 or 5 black planets. But that's not what that is. There's just burnt pixels on the camera that's taking the photo. And I've seen an uptick of videos with Russian comments. Just keep an eye on that type of stuff. Keep an eye on that type of stuff. And I always think about biblical prophecy too when I think about Russia and what its role is going to be in the end times. Russia has a great wealth. While we were, over here getting our people ready for a new age, the new modern era, they were still stuck in the Cold War making weapons. I've always said that. Russia and Israel, there's no secret there. They're not exactly, they're not exactly friends. I mean, we have even talked about this on this channel. I've did Russian documentaries before. I did one about Donald Trump, where, a documentary I did was aired on 90 different countries, but at the same time, I was a little bit afraid to do it because I was like, well, the fact that RT is reaching out to me, I know that's Russian run television. How far up in the government do they know about me? What do they know about me for them to be reaching out, right? Yeah, man, that's stuff you got to seriously think about anytime you're fucking around with Russia, man. I've had videos on my channel be blocked specifically for Russians. So I've literally gotten, I don't think they're not like a community guideline strike or nothing like that. It's not like a copyright strike either. It's just a type of notification. And those of you that have been YouTubers for a while, you may have experienced this or may not. I don't know. But there's been times that I've had videos be blocked, not allowed to be seen in Russia more than once. So and Russian is allies with the Syrian dictator also. Let's not forget about that. Like that dude has been over there gassing his own people with chemical weapons. Russian helicopters and Russian fighter jets are dropping bombs on Syria, on um spots where it's not even military, it's just civilians, literally killing civilians. And this is crazy to me, right? You've got the Syrian dictator Assad. We've seen multiple chemical attacks strike that have happened in Syria. I think I even posted something and told y'all to check out that documentary on Netflix. It's called The White Helmets. It's really, really fucking sad. Give me just a second, guys. Let me really quick bring up something really quick. Okay. So yeah, it's not like Russia is some ally to Israel, because they're definitely not. Let's go get back into this. Hey to everybody coming up in the chat. What's up, Wow Wayne? What's up with it? Hey Shannon. Yes, this is what they would call the backup page. Hey Hubison. Hey Hubert, how are you? Miscellaneous. See, and this is the one thing that I always think about anytime I go to start one of these videos. And I'm not putting that comment up there because I agree, because I don't. I don't agree. But that's my personal beliefs, right? And I don't live there, and I'm not the one that has to live in an occupied Palestine. They say it's occupied. But there's differences of opinion on that, because they also say that God promised the Israelis that land forever and ever and ever, until their seeds were like the stars. I read that in the Bible, right? I think it's really fucked up to see, the whole situation happening. But I also think we're seeing prophecy be fulfilled. What does the Quran say? What does the Quran say? If anybody in here is Muslim, it could tell me. I would be interested to know. Did God make a promise to, Abraham from a Muslim perspective? We know that Abraham had two children, Isaac and Esau, right? One Arab, came from an Egyptian mother, the other Jewish, right? So, what does the Quran say about that land? They're over there still fighting like crazy for land. And there's no end in sight, in my opinion. There's never going to be an end in sight on that. We are going to watch biblical prophecy continue to fulfill itself. I mean, to anybody who doesn't believe in God, if you just look at the history of biblical prophecy and how it's literally been fulfilled. 1947, Israel became a country again. After 2,000 years, they call it the diaspora, where, I hate it when they do this. I hate the sound of weed eaters and lawnmowers. Okay, so let me get into the factual stuff. Let me try not to elaborate too much on my opinion and my feelings and my thoughts, because I know there's people dying on both sides. I know that. I would be interested in the Quran stance regarding that land. I think it's amazing that Israel can be dispersed amongst the world, almost like, leaves in the wind. being dispersed, diaspora, and not having a home country. Then they go through the worst, most heinous execution like policy called Nazism, right? Over 6 million Jewish people gassed to death. And I mean, it's just so disgusting how the Germans did that. And they literally, they came out with the whole total solution. And they talked about, this was their policy, that they had to be Juden free. They hated Jews. See, that's one reason why I will never spend a dime in Germany. I will never go to Germany. I never want to see Germany. I'll never spend a dime in Germany. And it ain't got nothing to do with, necessarily them. Number one, it's not really a really hot tourist spot. Number two, I'll never forget what they did in the World War. How they literally gassed over 6 million Jewish people. There's no real solid number. God knows the number. But God also said, what else did God say? That the Jewish people would get their country back after, a period of time. So they were dispersed. Remember what I was talking about, the Wailing Wall? 70 AD, there was a war, and the Jewish capital was taken, and the Israelis were dispersed among the world. They went in all sorts of different directions. It was not even called Israel. Israel was not even Israel until 1947. But it was the 6-Day War. And I hope I've got the year right. But, they were dispersed amongst the world for 2,000 years. And still were hunted and killed. The Nazis were methodical about killing Jewish people, man. That's what I'm saying. Like the mindset of a Nazi party, that mindset, the way that they think, the way they feel. What do they call it? Aries or air something? Blonde hair, blue eyes. That's some standard that they set. It's just disgusting. How can that mindset be wiped out even to this day? If they were willing to go to a war and take multiple different countries, almost took over all of Europe back in World War II, and they implemented this crazy ass total solution policy and all this crazy stuff, well, how do they think now about Jewish people? I will never spend a dime in Germany. I don't ever want to see Germany. And I almost spit thinking about it. That's how disgusted I am. I just, they are the sons and the daughters of murderers, in my opinion. Anyway, let's talk about this more in depth, this Iron Dome. There's been a lot of bombardments going on between Israel and Hamas. Hamas, known as a terrorist organization, they also try to fancy themselves as like some sort of political party, like they're valid or something like that. But they keep putting or shooting rockets and missiles into Israel. Now it's clear, we can see who's instigating this. But see, this is what the Palestinians are going to say. Palestinians are going to say that they're occupied, that the Israelis, the Jewish people, have taken their land, and that some sort of incident from before is the reason why they're shooting those missiles now. It's kind of crazy. Just like we see Israel is, the Israelis and the Palestinians fight with each other. That split between them, we can see it there geographically, and then you can envision how that goes all the way back to Abraham, to his two sons. Esau was the father of the Arab people, right? Isaac was Abraham was the father of the Jewish people. But again, those two brothers fought. There's a big fight that's noted in the Bible that kind of discusses this relationship between these two brothers. And Esau and the mother always sort of felt like they weren't. First of all, the Esau came after Isaac anyway, right? Um, he it's just crazy, y'all. I could go so deep into some of this prophecy stuff, but here's the deal, though. The dealio. There's this really amazing piece of technology they called the Iron Dome. And basically what it is, it's like it has the ability, it has radar, and it has the ability to detect missiles coming in, and it shoots missiles out to destroy those missiles. You could almost look at it almost like a curtain that blankets itself over Israel. There's conflict going on, and of course, like always, and this is what they're trying to brag about today. They're trying to say they found a chink in the armor of this Israeli dome, the Iron Dome. They're saying that they have figured out a way to bypass, or the algorithm, so to speak. These missiles and this Iron Dome sequence, all this stuff that takes place with it, there are algorithms that are created by man, of course, into a computer system that control what this defense mechanism will do. It's amazing, actually. It's pretty amazing. It is cutting edge technology, but just understand it's just the algorithms. It's just code. It's just code. And here's what they're saying. Hamas is trying to brag and say that they figured out a way to bypass this to where they can shoot missiles and rockets into Israel without the Iron Dome even stopping them. They're trying to scare, right, the Israelis. Oh, y'all, man, when I tell you guys I have a problem with my elbow that is so bad, I kid you not. I know it's like I just threw it out there, but it's because my elbow hurts. Man, it's like for a year and a half, maybe 2 years, I have this incredible pain in my elbow, deep inside my elbow, real deep. And it got to the point, even I want to say a few years ago, like I couldn't even like rest my elbow on like a desk or like put my head on my hand or something like that. That hurts. But some of the pain I'm feeling in this elbow, I don't know what the hell it is. I don't know. I went to see a doctor about it, and he did do a CAT scan, or was it an MRI? I can't remember which one. They could see a little bit of normal stuff, being 40, in your 40s or whatever, but nothing crazy. But there's definitely something going on. Like it's always the same place where it hurts and shit. So anyway, sorry I threw that out there. But y'all just check this out for a second. And y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Silver? Yeah, the Aryan race, miscellaneous. Thank you. That's what the Germans called it. Or still do, probably. Aryan. Hey, Denise. Shoot, I think I do have a little bit of that, but mine really comes from osteonecrosis, from corticosteroids. But man, this elbow is no punk, bitch. Like it's so deep inside the elbow, and it like goes down my forearm. The pain goes down the forearm almost into my wrist. And Like my last two fingers, my pinky finger and my ring finger, well, I'll even feel pain in them. So I don't know. It's really strange. Anyway, y'all just check this out for a second.
Israel has a right to defend itself, even as the Biden administration hopes for a de-escalation of tension.
We strongly condemn the rocket attacks coming out of Gaza that are targeting innocent Israeli civilians. And Israel has a right to defend itself. Palestinians have a right to live in safety and security.
Secretary of State there, foreign correspondent Trey Yangst in the region from the beginning, joins us live with the latest developments. Good evening, Trey.
Brett, good evening. Breaking tonight, air raid sirens just minutes ago sounded in central and northern Israel as Hamas says they are now firing once again long-range rockets towards the Jewish state. We know today the death toll in Gaza rose to almost 60 people. In Israel, one soldier died and also a 6-year-old boy. This is a major escalation by the factions inside Gaza. As behind me tonight in the Gaza Strip, we have heard loud explosions. The Israeli Air Force targeting a number of high-rise buildings, a red line for Hamas and Islamic Jihad, the factions inside Gaza, who are now not only firing on Israel from the air, but also the ground. Earlier today, we know that Hamas used an anti-tank unit to fire on a group of Israeli soldiers that were sitting inside of a Jeep. All of the soldiers severely injured, and one of them did die. At the hospital, we spoke with the doctor that treated them, saying that he believes Hamas is getting more advanced weaponry. Inside Gaza, those high-rise buildings were really the major focus of conversation for the factions there that we spoke with today, who said in the coming hours, things would continue to escalate. Some of the missiles did slip past the missile defense system, the Iron Dome today, as we noted, killing that 6-year-old in the town of Sderot. Also, we visited a site in the city of Ashkelon where a rocket slammed into a building. People came out bloodied, looking for their loved ones. This is the scene unfolding here in Israel, again, as air raid sirens are going off tonight. Brett.
Trey Yangst on the ground. We'll head back for any breaking details. Trey, thanks.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
The United Nations is warning
Royal family and those that are here right now, okay? I have been gone handling business, being a mother, moving my studio around because I got more stuff, okay? However, Claudiva decided that she was gonna go live on me. And I waited. I waited to see what else was gonna, what else she was gonna say. Because all of it was lies. And Royal family, we've been through this before. You feel what I'm saying? And the reason why, again, that is important is because when I put my panels up, you're not gonna be able to see that. So Clyde had went on